Every time that we try to move away from the word library, we tend to come back to it. It's expanding now to what that is. So whether it's GLAMS or whether it's MFCO, yeah, I don't know what the right term is, and that's okay, because once again, that's an ongoing conversation, and that's back to the partnerships, right?
What is very complicated for us is like it's an integration. It's not an accommodation.
Right.
And that's sometimes a way of searching how can we really integrate with each other.
And it means,
how do you think about that? Because it's not only partnerships, it's really like one organization.
Yeah.
We have a new name.
Yep.
But it's complicated sometimes. Like, how do we really work together?
Yeah.
What is the common ground? What are your ideas about that?
Marie Oostergaard, director of the Aarhus Dock 1 library, uses the phrase "the library as movement," and I hate the word user. When we talk about, because computer scientists and drug dealers have users, and no one wants to be used, right? So, I'm a librarian. Come use me, right? This is not a good idea.
No, that's true.
Yeah, and so. But she has presented to me the one case where it makes sense, which she says the library, meaning the systems and the facility and the collections, that's the platform. And the librarians and community members standing side by side use those resources to advance the community. So when you say library, it doesn't include the people. The people are out with the community, and they're part of that community and working together. In order to do that and integrate, that librarian needs to know what they are and what the value they bring. If all they define themselves as a keeper of the books, then of course they're going to be resistant. But if they see themselves as facilitators of learning, if they see themselves as moving the community forward, if they see themselves as advocates within the community, I'm going to work with musicians, I'm going to work with anyone I can to improve my community, and I don't feel like I've got to defend the space, it's going to help things happen. And so that's, like I say, a lot of my work, but a lot of good work that I'm in the Netherlands visiting and learning about is that idea of integration, where I'm not integrating one organizational structure to another. I'm bringing together partners of expertise, right? I'm bringing together the librarian and the poet and the writer and the cinematographer and the bartender and the barista. We're all coming together to move things forward. And then we sit back and say, okay, what do we need to do that? Well, it'd be good to have a physical space that we can bring in. And it'd be good that that space can accommodate more than just shelves. It would be good that we have a common mission that we can use to explain to our communities what's happening. Because oftentimes when you see innovation in libraries, it's not the librarians that are holding them back. It's the communities, because they don't understand what's happening. There hasn't been a strong narrative to say, this is what we're doing. And so building that narrative, that story we tell about ourselves, that's the integration I think that would be really fascinating and important to happen. Librarianship itself is a story. It's a story we've been telling for 4,000 years, and it's changed in its nature, but it comes back to what's the narrative that we share. If we had talked 15 years ago about libraries curating anything, the word curation was, no, that involves decision, and that involves perspective, and we are neutral. Now, libraries understand there is no such thing as neutrality. They are curating experiences, and it's bringing those people closer together, telling a different story. Right now, as I'm sure many of the people watching this know, the U.S. is having a moment with things like book banning and people talking about what books and what stories should be shared through their libraries, whether they should embrace LGBTQ+, whether they should embrace different racial understandings.
Well, it's also in Holland. It's not only in the U.S. anymore.
Yeah, and we're arguing over what stories get told. And libraries, in response, have also changed their narrative. In the United States, the narrative, the story we told is we are somehow this objective, neutral arbiter. That, oh no, we bring every side in. We don't use that story anymore. Our story is, no. We do have a perspective. We want to make sure that we support all of these communities, as long as these communities respect each other The one community or set of communities that we will not support within a library are ones that says the other parts of that community shouldn't exist. Right? That's a line that we can't pass. But that means we have a perspective. We tell this story. So as we now expand that story from we inform objectively to we support many different views, that next one about and now we support many different ways of telling stories is a natural extension. And whether that's, once again, through culture, through historical collection, through museum, through opera, through what have you, that's a story that it's going to take time to develop.